But Omar, tell me about your journey. You came up with the idea for Metric. You were the one that started this journey for me and for all our team and all of our investors. Why Metric? Why the chief financial AI?
Yeah, so being from the finance sector, I'm a chartered accountant. I started my career at PwC, very, very core finance auditing. But, sort of pivoted towards working more with small businesses and startups. And there were a lot of things that seemed easy for me, but seemed really hard for those founders to do because they did not have a finance background. And everyone's sort of seemed okay with that relationship where the founders are running the business. They don't really know their numbers and they have this accounting firm or an accountant or a part-time junior person coming in, just recording their transactions, checking their invoices, and at the end of the day, filing their accounts and tax for compliance.
Yeah.
And this sort of status quo or this sort of norm felt very odd to me because the more and more I worked with small businesses, the more I learned that their businesses are really, their numbers are really telling them a story that can help them grow their business. But they weren't, or they didn't seem prepared to start looking at those numbers. And so I learned that it's not about them not being prepared. It's about the finance sector being set up in such a way that it's really hard for someone who doesn't know IFRS or tax law to even start making sense of it.
Those are scary words and phrases. Like
in itself.
Yeah, I've been an SME owner, and if you came to me and started talking about tax law or IFRS, my eyes would glaze over, and I would try to run out of that conversation as fast as I could.
Yeah, and that's how firms, law firms, accounting firms actually sell most of their services by scaring the founder. Like I'll come to you, I'll say, UAE corporate tax law, if you don't file in time, there's a 10,000 dirham fine.
Which is true.
It's true. But the thing is, it doesn't, I didn't want to come at it from that angle. It's true, and those services are important. But, we can do more as finance professionals. We can do more than just, saving you from penalties. We can actually help you use your numbers to make decisions that will grow your business.
Yeah.
And inshallah, reach a point where a 10,000 dirham fine doesn't even mean much to you. And so that's I remember we were sitting at the breakfast table, and that's what I was thinking. How do I make these things easy for small business owners? That was the only thought. That was the problem. It was too hard for them. You open an Excel sheet, they're scared of it. You open financial statements, they can't understand it. The accountant speaks a completely different language for what the business needs to make a decision. The business owner said, just tell me this one thing. And the accountant said, no, we do like this, and then we'll make this report, and then we'll find this, and then, these are the liquidity ratios, and this is your P&L.
Wow.
And
more scary words.
Exactly.
I think as business owners, we don't even know what we really need from our numbers a lot of times, beyond the compliance side of things, right? Beyond the, I'm scared of this tax penalty, or the government has asked me to submit XYZ audit reports, or, the investor has asked me for audit reports. I don't think we realize what a treasure those numbers can actually be on decisions that we're taking daily.
Yeah, so I think what was needed was a translator between the accountant and the business owner. The business owner doesn't know what they need from their numbers, but they know what they need. Mm-hmm. Can you just tell me how much money I'm losing, or how much money I'm making, or what am I spending on marketing, and what am I getting in return?
What do I sell more?
Yeah, so those are core questions. But when you ask that question to a person who's just looking at it from an accounting point of view, it's really hard for them to match what they're looking for. And that's how Metric was born. I would just try to make it easy for them, not scary. Our app was designed for the business owners that they can use it themselves if they want to. They don't even need an accountant until a certain point.
Yeah,
and they can actually extract very bite-sized insights from it, which they could understand and they could take action on.
Yeah. So I'm not a finance professional or an accountant, but as somebody who worked with a lot of SMEs, I get all those questions. I have gotten all those questions as well over the last 10 years. Even when I was on the VC side of things, even when I was designing programs or delivering training on access to markets or whatever, people come up to you, business owners come up to you, and they ask you, Mena, what do you think? How much profit margin should I set? And I'm like, I have no idea of the shoe sector, for example. I have no idea of the shoe sector, and I have no idea of the shoe sector in your market, in your region. Me as a consultant or as an advisor or even as a mentor or coach, any number that I give you is going to be BS. It's not going to be real. It's going to be like completely pulled from thin air. I can try to make some reasoning behind it. I've seen, cake businesses make 15% margin that are selling to this kind of socioeconomic segment. So, I can come up with some kind of, again, BS reasoning to justify it. But actually, I'm pulling it out of thin air. And then if you clone me and put another coach, mentor, consultant and ask them the same question, they could give you an answer that would be completely opposite to mine and also have the same kind of reasoning. But none of us are looking at the numbers because we don't have access to sector data.
Yeah, and as a consultant, you can tell them how to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
You talked about what your target audience will be, what you want your brand to be. Is it going to be low end? Is it going to be high end? And then you can sort of give them, okay, your margin, if you're doing a high end thing and you want your brand to like be the value over time, then you put a higher margin. Or if you wanted to sell to mass market, of course, focus on your costs, build the cheap stuff and sell it for cheap as well.
Some kind of logical framework.
So as a consultant, you can give that, but the business owner has that's what I say. They have one question: what should my profit margin be? And as a consultant, you can tell them how to do it. But at that level, when they're just starting out, when they're really, really small, like consultants work for like bigger business, I think.
Yeah.
Depending on
even for bigger businesses, So how does the chief financial AI change this game?
So what Metric does, and the chief financial AI herself, which is Max,
It's a girl.
It's a girl. Max is a girl. It's you can say it's gender neutral.
Did I know this? Interesting. Okay.
It's gender neutral.
That's great. I love it.
But actually, Max is a girl. Max is a star, so you can say whatever. But so Max and Metric itself connects to any system that you're using. For example, if you have an accountant that's using QuickBooks for you, or Zoho for you, or if you're selling on Shopify or Zid, those sort of platforms, it will connect to your numbers and translate it into a way that you can understand. Give you some core numbers right from the start. Again, no consulting. I won't say it's BS, but it's not a guidance. Like consultants are like guides, right? So it's not guidance. It's like, okay, you're the business owner. I want to know how much money I made this month. That's it. And it gives you those numbers, on a very easy.
And it's backed by numbers, not biases.
It's backed by your own numbers.
Data.
It's backed by data. Well. It's also backed by other businesses in your region, in your sector. The data that they have, it's sort of aggregated, anonymized, and so you can then understand not only what your margin is. For example, the question you said a lot of businesses ask you. You can understand not what your profit margin is currently. You can also know what it should be based on the benchmark of your sector and your region.
Yeah.
And so that's what Metric does as its core. And then with Max, the chief financial AI really becomes a co-pilot for the business owner, where you can just start asking it any question and it's going to pull out your numbers, pull out sectoral data, benchmarks, everything. And it'll give you a very, very easy to use information that you can build. You can ask it anything, make a chart for my 5-year business month on month. What is the seasonality in my business? How many discounts have I given in general so far? And was that a good decision? Was that a bad decision based on like margin? And so it really changes the game. You can now have a conversation with a CFO that's actually speaking your language, but also has all the power that a finance, executive would have.
And that's the power of AI also, right? Like if we shift gears a little bit, we keep hearing about AI, the AI hype, the AI bubble, the AI boom, and you go to conferences and you'll have a panel where people are kind of talking for and against the AI hype, and you'll have some people say, don't fall into the AI trap. This is just a fad, or this is just the new shiny thing. And there are people who are making fun of startups and businesses who are integrating AI into their product. How do you feel about this? What are your thoughts?
So I think we might be in an AI bubble based on some like data and some funding statistics, but that doesn't mean that it is overhyped. The applications of AI are clear for everyone to see not just like in business, in their daily lives. People are using it for multiple things in their personal lives, cooking,
Health.
as a therapist. Someone
Yeah.
are using these chatbots as therapists.
Which
I'm just
be
saying, like,
careful if you're using it as your therapist. Be
we're
careful.
not
Okay,
recommending it.
yeah.
I'm just saying,
Not-
like, people
yeah.
are doing that,
Yeah.
whether they should or not. But the point is that there are a lot of applications.
Mm-hmm.
So when the internet sort of started booming, early to mid 90s, and people were saying that it's in a bubble. There were like big, really famous economists who are
Yeah.
still famous, who said the internet is just a fad. It's like the fax machine or something, and it's going to come and then it's going to go. And the dot-com bubble happened late 90s, and they might have thought that they were right. So like the bubble burst basically late 90s. So we might be in a bubble. Things too tend to get overhyped in markets, from investor perspective, from government perspective maybe, but there are still a lot of applications there. And so, like 20 years later, there's no life without the internet. So even if there was a bubble made and it did burst, but the applications that the internet, the real
Persisted.
life and business applications that were actually created by the internet persisted. And I think AI is similar. I think AI is as big as the advent or invention of the internet. It has completely changed the game already, and people don't realize it's actually, even people who hype it, they say it's just getting started, but that's also true. Like 4 years ago,
Yeah.
no one even knew ChatGPT. No one knew OpenAI. They've been at it for like 15 years or more.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
I thought it was a new thing.
yeah, but they just finally made a product that was usable at a retail level, and
Yeah.
suddenly people. So even 4 years ago it was zero, and now it's like everyday life.
Yeah. Our CTO has been working on machine learning for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
10 years ago, I did not even understand what she was building. But now she's building something for Metric, and she's one of our co-founders. She's amazing. Shout out, Habiba.
So I think everything that goes up, there is people who or there is hype and bubbles might be forming, but what we need to understand is what are the core applications.